Hello everyone, welcome to Game 2, Statewide Stampede. Today we have Pivot City Rangers and Team Regional Victoria, and they'll be starting in a couple of minutes. Welcome to Bendigo. Today on the announcers we have myself, I'm Intensive Care Unit, and next to me is Judy Bench. Hi Judy.
Hello, hello.
Just before we start, we'd like to acknowledge that we are on the Dja Dja Wurrung and Taungurung country. We would like to acknowledge and extend our appreciation for the Dja Dja Wurrung people, the traditional owners of the land that we are standing on today. Today we pay our respects to leaders and elders past, present and future, for they hold the memories, the traditions, the culture and the hopes of all Dja Dja Wurrung peoples. We express our gratitude in the sharing of this land, our sorrow for the personal, spiritual and cultural costs of that sharing, and our hope that we may walk forwards together in harmony and in the spirit of healing. 1 minute to go, so get comfy. There's a coffee cart over here, we've got tacos over there, and we've got a great game of derby ahead of us.
Okay, we're almost ready for the first jam, and it looks like we're going to have for TRV, Skater McGavin Gav, and for Pivot City Rangers, we're going to have Mad Pixie, number 76. And these are two very familiar faces to those who have been watching roller derby in Victoria for a while.
It's great to see Mad Pixie back on the track, I must say. Oh, and Pixie's made it out of the pack, but unfortunately got a high block penalty, so we'll be heading to the penalty box. And now Gav's going to make their best effort to get out of the pack.
So we will do the skater rosters in a little bit, but we'll just wait until we get through this jam for the first bit.
All right, so a couple of people in the penalty box for Pivot City. Bit of an advantage here for TRV with more skaters on track, but Gav's still pushing her way through, really trying to get through that defensive tripod. And as we enter into the third corner and the second apex, and Gav has made it through, lead jammer.
So both these teams are actually made up of players from a couple of different teams. So with Pivot City Rangers, we've got Gippsland Rangers and Geelong forming the team. And then for TRV, we've got multiple different teams, all the small regional teams. So this is always exciting for them to be able to get out there and play together.
Yeah, it's great to see opportunities for people all around Victoria to be able to play this amazing sport. So that's the end of the first jam. So 8 points for TRV and unfortunately no points for Pivot City. So TRV out of the gate with the points advantage so far.
And lining up we have 3-0 Bombshell for Pivot City and 1-1, I think it is, Liz Williams. No. Loco Leg, sorry, looking at the run side. Just while there's an official timeout at the moment. Do you want to start?
The team rosters for TRV, Team Regional Victoria. We have Lil Miss, Loco Legs, Cow Crusher, Bella, Tickle Me Hell No, Griff, Bim Sim, Hurty Beetle, Bender, Lady Justice, Tink, Gav, Monk, Elmer Thud and the Mad Splatter.
And with the start of the second jam, we have Bombshell out in front for lead for Pivot City Rangers. during the next lineup, I'll go through their team list.
And Loco Legs has made it out of the pack as well. Not lead jammer, but racing around trying to come back for a scoring pass.
Bombshell has made it through for a scoring pass. Picking up all 4 points.
Couple of spills here on the apex as both teams are pushing through and really trying to get their jammers out, but the blockers are working hard to stop them.
And it's quite good seeing 06 Storm out there for Pivot City Rangers, one of the Team Australia juniors.
Storm is a great skater. It's fantastic to see the new generation of skaters coming through, really showing a great future for the sport, and great effort from Storm.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go through the Pivot City Rangers. We have Storm, Liz Williams, Dakota Blocker, Turbo Kerbo, Billy Goat Ruff, Bombshell, Grazed Anatomy, Melonhead, Slam Halen, Bad Juju, Mad Pixie, J-Lo, and Morbid Murder. And on the lineup, we've got, who's that? That looks like it might be Juju for Pivot City. No? Just trying to see the number.
Yes, for those of you watching at home, the announcers, we are not in the best position to see who the jammers are. So we'll let you know as soon as we can.
Well, we do have Little Miss for
TRV.
Yeah. And no, it was actually Liz Williams who is jamming.
Right, Liz Williams for Pivot City. All right, Liz Williams coming up the inside line on the straightaway on the far side of the track, coming through for 4 points. A really easy slip through there on the inside line, and she's coming round for another set of 4 points. Meanwhile, TRV Jammer is still stuck in the back of the pack. Around the outside there for Liz Williams on the apex. Looks like there's been a star pass for TRV.
And that's gone to Monk 888.
Thank you. Meanwhile, Liz Williams getting stuck in the tripod wall there, back towards the first turn or the fourth turn at the jammer line, but she's made it through for another 4 points for Pivot City. All right, TRB jammer just there in the near the pivot line, pushing through. A couple of stumbles there and made it through on around the apex for their first or their initial pass. So no points yet, but coming around for another opportunity to start scoring some points for TRV.
Liz has come through for another scoring pass, so another 4 points for P.
All right, straight through on the outside there for the TRV jammer, who's Monk. Sorry, everyone. Beautiful assistance there on the apex, and that's the end of that jam.
So Monk is another skater who has played derby for quite a while. So it's exciting to see her out there representing TRV. Actually one of the Warrnambool skaters. So I believe there's 2 Warrnambool skaters so far this year for TRV. It's their first year back being included.
All right, good effort from Warrnambool.
Okay, and we've got Mad Pixie picking up a quick lead for Pivot City.
All right, and there has been a star pass for TRV, and that looks like Gav there with the star. Meanwhile, Mad Pixie has raced through for another first 4 points. Gav's getting caught up in that tripod, but made it through on the inside line. So both jammers now out and ready to start scoring points.
Okay, and that was an interesting way to do an apex jump on the straight that Mad Pixie just did. Getting past the last
beautiful little dancing around the outside line there, but big hit there for Gav, who's now been forced to recycle and has re-entered it behind the tripod. Pixie calling off the jam. All All right, there's a timeout being called. So at the end of that jam,
I believe there's an issue with the scoreboard, so it's an official timeout.
Oh, beg your pardon, official timeout. Well, if there's the scoreboard currently says Pivot City 33, Team Regional Victoria 16. So we'll just update you if we get any further updates on the score. All right, we're away, and there was a slight update to the scoreboard. Pivot City on 33, TRV on 19. Okay. All right, bit of a split pack situation here. But we have the Pivot City Jammer, who...
That's Bombshell.
Bombshell, thank you, Judy, has made it out for lead Jammer. Both teams... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, a lot of these players were part of the Valley Cats last year, so I'm able to pick them a little bit quicker.
All right, so TRV has a couple of skaters in the penalty box at the moment, which is a track advantage for Pivot City. They've got more blockers, more opportunities to do offence, and it's going to be a bit harder for TRV to stop that Jammer from getting through. All right, and a call-off. So Pivot City calling off the jam before TRV is able to score any points, which is quite a good strategy. Get a few points of your own, and if you've got lead jammer status, then you really have that advantage to stop the other team from scoring.
Although it is an interesting tactic, considering it's now actually put TRV with a bit of a blocker advantage going into this jam.
Yes, it is worth looking at the penalty box if you're going to call it off. Do you want to stay on track for a bit longer and clear out the penalty box, or do you want to take that risk on the next jam?
Although Liz Williams seems to have gone, I don't mind, I'm just going to skate straight through anyway. So Liz Williams for Pivot City, picking up lead. However,
Griff for TRV, jamming for TRV, not far behind. Another quick call off.
So the scoreboard is showing Pivot City Rangers at 44, Team Regional Victoria 19.
All right, we've got Hurdy Beetle for TRV and Mad Pixie for Pivot City. Hurdy Beetle getting lead. Jammer, great advantage for TRV. Chased around the track there by the Jammer F, Flo. But Mad Pixie has made it out of the pack and is on the way through. Pack's moving fairly quickly, but Hurdy Beetle heading back at the outside of the straightaway. Meanwhile, Mad Pixie taking the inside line, skating through without barely being touched, and Hurdy Beetle is trapped at the back of those blockers, but danced around on the outside line and made it through. And calling it off just as Mad Pixie enters the back of the pack and does a quick little bit of a jump, hop, skip and a jump to see if we can get a few points on the way through, but I'm not sure if it was successful.
That was actually a very well-timed call-off there.
Very well-timed, yes. So both teams scoring 4 points from that jam. So even Stevens in that one, and Pivot City on 48, TRV on 23.
And we we have Bombshell up again for Pivot City, and just can't quite see who it is at the moment for TRV. But Bombshell out with lead.
And it's Griff for TRV, who's made it out of the pack. So both jammers are able to start scoring points.
I just noticed Griff's shorts, and they are an amazing shade of gold.
They've got pockets on the back and all.
I know, I'm jealous.
And Griff's made that. They must be good shorts, because Griff just danced around the second turn there on the inside line, made it through very easily, and a big hit there on the outside line onto the Pivot City jammer, who's decided, you know what, that's a big hit. The other jammer's coming up. I'm going to call it off.
Do not blame Bombshell for that at all. Okay, it looks like we have Elmer Thud as the jammer for TRV.
And Elmer Thud has got lead.
And they're up against Liz Williams. So Liz is being used quite regularly out there at the moment. But
all right, Elmer Thud coming through on the inside line on the apex there, trying to bust through the pack, but calling it off just as Liz Williams skates to the back of the pack as well. So
that was a very clear direction from the bench to call it.
Yeah. So 2 points, though, from that jam for TRV and none for Pivot City. So really quick jam, but a smart move to call it off quickly. However, TRV now has 2 skaters in the penalty box and will be starting the next jam at a numbers disadvantage.
We've got Mad Pixie picking up lead quickly. And we're just trying to confirm the number of the TRV jammer.
Right, TRV jammer is still stuck at the back
I
of
believe
the
that
pack.
is Lady Justice, 7-7.
All right, Mad Pixie is already coming through for her first scoring pass and has made it through. The TRV blocker's putting up a good fight there to make it a little bit hard for Mad Pixie, but she does make it look easy, so. All right, there's been a star pass for TRV,
And
we
it's
now
Monk
have
again.
Monk, who has the star. Will be coming around, popping that star on her head to try and score some points.
There was a little bit of a sneaky bit of blocking just as they were exiting the engagement zone, so just took a second longer to get around.
Meanwhile, Mad Pixie has pushed her way through that pack. Blocker's doing well to slow her down, but she's made it through and scored another 4 points. All right, Monk being held there really well by those Pivot City tripod. They're looking really strong. Mad Pixie skirting around the outside, coming through. Taking a bit of a hit on the way through, and unfortunately for TRV, their blocker scored a penalty for that hit on Mad Pixie on the way through.
And
Melonhead doing a really good job there. Melonhead is a tough blocker to get past.
Very much so. I believe we've just had a timeout called, and so with that, just want to give a big congratulations to one of our non-skating officials out there at the moment. It is actually Buster Hammy's 50th game that they are NSOing, so a big achievement there. Congratulations to them, although they're currently over there diligently doing their work and checking out penalty counts, making sure everything is correct.
If you've been at any statewide rounds recently, last year, this year, etc., if you've played, if you've NSO'd, if you've refed, you would have come across Buster Hammy doing a great job. So well done, Buster Hammy. While we're on that, during this timeout, we'd just like to take an opportunity to thank our officials today on our non-skate, or Oh, I was going to read them out. It's time to come back. Non-skating and skating officials, and we've also got photographers here today volunteering their time to make you all look amazing in photos. All right, and we are away on the next jam.
With Bombshell picking up a very quick lead for Pivot City.
And for TRV, we have Griff jamming, getting really stuck there behind a few Pivot City blockers, including Storm, who's doing a great job there, but made it through on the or almost made it through on the inside line, but a big hit from Storm knocked her out, having to recycle on the apex there. Bit of offence from Lady Justice, trying to help Griff through, trying to break up that tripod. Meanwhile, Bombshell is fighting her way through on the outside line and has made it through for 4 points. All right, both jammers are now out of the pack. Oh, I spoke too soon. That is a penalty for the TRV jammer. That's a penalty for Griff. So it's a great opportunity now for Pivot City to just rack up the points while TRV is not in a position to score. So TRV blockers are going to be trying their best to stop that from happening, and Pivot City blockers are going to be able to do a lot of offence. But Bombshell's called it off, icing Griff in the penalty box, which means the next jam's going to start with a power jam for Pivot City. So that's a great advantage to start with only your own blocker on track. Your own jammer, I beg your pardon.
That was actually a really well-decided move there, because it had taken Bombshell a little bit longer to get back out for their scoring pass. So let's just start afresh and break up the pack again.
Fresh opportunity to start scoring points. All right, so Pivot City, we have Liz Williams jamming straight up the inside line. Great work there for Pivot City blockers to do some offence there and make it easy for Liz Williams to get lead.
Griff is back out and engaging for their initial.
All right, so we have both jammers on track. But
the penalty being picked up by Juju from Pivot City. So
beautiful slide around the outside line from Griff there. Just get through the pack.
Liz has just gone back around and about to hit the pack again. So definitely making.
All right, looks like we've got a penalty for Liz Williams starting in the penalty box. So Liz Williams had lead jammer status, which if you get a penalty, you lose that lead jammer status. So you cannot call off the jam early, and we have to go for the full 2 minutes.
But this now gives Griff opportunity to get some support instead of having just to face all the blockers by themselves. So
opportunity for TRV to do some offence, as Judy Bench has mentioned. Big hit on the outside line.
That was by Tickle Me Hell No.
Tickle Me Hell No is a tough blocker to face as well. Really solid on track.
So.
All right, Pivot City doing some great offence to clear the outside line for Liz Williams coming out of the penalty box. Coming straight on through on that straightaway and back to scoring points. Meanwhile, Griff is still stuck at the back there. Bit of offence, big hit through. So Griff's come through, but those Pivot City blockers are trying to reform in front. Tickle Me Hell No out the front on her own, doing a bit of one-on-one blocking. That is the end of that jam. So from that jam, Pivot City got 16 points and TRV got 4. So the score at the moment is Pivot City Rangers 102, Team Regional Victoria 37.
Okay, we're back on, and we have Oh, very fast pack breakout. We have Mad Pixie and
Bender for TRV.
Bender's not actually all that far behind Mad Pixie, so let's see what's going to happen here.
Mad Pixie making it look easy on the inside line of the second turn. Bender's strong, pushing against those Pivot City blockers, trying to break up that defensive tripod. Mad Pixie coming back through on the inside.
A little bit of a tumble.
And Pixie has called it off. So beautiful bit of jamming there from Mad Pixie. Really nimble and agile on that inside line to get through those blockers. They think they've covered the line, and Pixie just makes it look so easy.
It does actually look like there had been a slight adjustment to the scoreboard before the points got awarded, so from the previous jam, but it's now sitting at Pivot City Rangers at 110 to Team Regional Victoria 45.
All right, and we're away. Next jam is on.
And we have Bad Juju jamming and getting lead for Pivot City Rangers versus Gav out there for TRV.
Oh, nice bit of a spin on the way through, but Hurdy Beetle doing a big hit there to try and slow down the Pivot City jammer. But she's made it through on a scoring pass. Meanwhile, Gav is at the back of the pack trying to bust through those Pivot City blockers. Nice bit of offense there, and Gav has made it through.
And Juju's gone through for another scoring pass.
So both jammers have managed to score in this jam, which is good to see.
Oh, that was a lovely little spin and pirouette there, but just by Gav, but just making sure that they're nice and safe, so they've gone and reset to the back of the pack.
Yeah, you've got to stick that landing. All right, Bad Juju's come through for another 4 points and has called it off before Gav can get too many points on the other side of the track.
They're also using it to their advantage because there is a blocker in the bin. So they'll have a very slight blocker advantage going into this next jam. And it looks like we have Liz Williams for Pivot City and Cow Crusher, I believe, for TRV. And Liz Williams through for lead.
Cow Crusher at the back of the pack there trying to break through. It's a pretty solid pack. Bit of a dance around the inside line, bit of assistance from the offense skaters has made it through. But that is a penalty for Cow Crusher. I think it might have been a forearms penalty.
It was a bit of a delayed call, but...
So great advantage here for Pivot City. Liz Williams is the only jammer who can currently score any points. So is she going to rack up the points and keep going, or is she going to call it off and get an advantage at the start of the next jam? Or both? All right, she's going to score 4 points and call it off. All right. So next jam, Pivot City is going to start with that power jam with their jammer being the only one on track. So all the blockers can do offense, really help their jammer to get out and get lead and get control of the next jam.
And they've made the decision to send out Mad Pixie to start this power jam.
So Mad Pixie's going to want to get out as fast as she can so that Pivot City blockers can start defence as soon as Cow Crusher gets out of the box. And that is exactly what happened. Mad Pixie is out straight away. Already coming back to start scoring points.
Getting a nice little bit of a O set up there by Morgan Murder.
All right, great bit of offense, opening up the inside line for Mad Pixie to just slide on through. Cow Crusher's back on track and has already started trying to score points. But unfortunately, Cow Crusher has got another penalty. I think it was a cut track penalty. So this is a really good advantage for Pivot City TRV's really hampered, unable to score any points. Mad Pixie cuts through on the inside line at the straightaway for another 4 points.
That was a really nice little bit of offence there by Billy Goat Ruff and Morbs as well. Just setting up that inside line, making it nice and easy for her.
Great bit of teamwork. All right, so for TRV we have Cow Crusher starting in the penalty box as the jammer. So Pivot City jammer
is Bombshell.
Is
3-0.
Bombshell. All right, let's see what the strategy is this time. Let's see if they can do the same as they did in the last jam. A lot of offense here from Pivot City. Bombshell making it through on the outside at the first turn. Got lead jammer status. Cow Crusher doing a little bit of blocking as she comes through to start try to see if she can make her initial pass. Dancing around the outside line. Bit of a fake star pass there, bit of strategic move. Confuse the opposition blockers.
The thing with TRV is it doesn't really matter if they do the star pass or not, because nearly every single person out there for TRV can jam.
Yeah, that's right. Blockers, jammers, it's great to see a team that can do it all.
Bombshell through for another scoring pass.
Or being harassed by photographers.
So many photographers. A nice call off there by Bombshell for Pivot City. Just speaking about the photographers, we actually have a really good media crew this year.
We do.
There's so many photographers there. Scout, Hawkeye, Phil, Sarah, Lucy, Bill and Nick all taking photos.
And a special shout out to Scout for being our media superstar supervisor coordinator for statewide Stampede. So helping out to organise the photographers, the announcers, and of course Niall Beardcasts on the live stream as well. So if you're watching at home, it's because Beardcast is doing such a great job.
And we have Hurdy Beetle as lead jammer for TRV. And it looks like the Pivot City jammer is actually in the penalty box at the moment.
Yeah, it's Bombshell in the penalty box, which is a great advantage for TRV to try and rack up some points and try and close the gap a little bit there on the points on the scoreboard. All right, Bombshell is back on track, pushing through just one TRV blocker there. There's a great work from Monk there to try and hold her off. And Monk's also done a nice little bit of offense on the way through to help the jammer get through.
TRV is making it very difficult for Bombshell to get through.
And Hurdy Beetle has made it look easy at the same time, getting through that Pivot City tripod, cutting on the inside line on the second apex to score another 4 points. All right, Bombshell has made it through their initial pass and should be able to start scoring points. Hurdy Beetle doing a great job on the outside line there in the fourth turn. Pivot City blockers unable to stop her on the way through.
Definitely made it seem easy.
All right. And Bombshell has started scoring points. Meanwhile, there's no slowing down Hurdy Beetle. But she has called it off before Pivot City can score any more points. So that was a fantastic jam for TRV. So 20 points there for Hurdy Beetle. Well done.
Do not blame her for calling that off at all. I would need a rest too.
It starts to get tiring after a while. All right, we've got Liz Williams lining up for Pivot City.
And Loco Legs.
Loco Legs.
TRV.
I don't think we've seen her jam yet today.
Early on had one jam.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Liz Williams through to pick up lead. But it's the battle of the ones out there. We have 1-1-1 and 1-1 as the jammers.
Gets a bit confusing announcing all the numbers. Oh, big hit there on the apex there, knocking Liz Williams out, having to recycle around those two TRV blockers who are really trying their best out the front there to hold her down, reforming that tripod. Meanwhile, we've got TRV Jammer coming to the back of the pack, trying the inside line, getting hit out and getting forced around to try again. So Loco Legs is still trying to get through that fierce Pivot City blocking wall. Bit of a split pack, but Liz Williams has called off the jam from the front of the pack. Points for both teams from that jam.
And we should have one last jam for this half. It's going very quickly.
That did go quite fast. Last time I looked at it, we had 20 minutes left. Now we have 20 seconds.
And it looks like we're going to have Mad Pixie and
Cow Crusher for TRV. And we're away for the last jam of the first half. Mad Pixie taking lead with a little bounce on it. What do you call it when you duck? You duck.
Yeah,
Ducked under a few arms there. Mad Pixie around on the outside line to start scoring points. Cow Crusher is still at the back of the pack trying to get through that really strong defensive Pivot City wall. Trying the outside line. Mad Pixie on the doing a bit of a juke and a fake to the out. Knocked out there by Bim Sim. And it looks like Mad Pixie has got a penalty. I didn't see what the penalty was, but
however,
she's off to the penalty box.
we will be having a jammer bounce because Cow Crusher got sent to the penalty as well.
One of the most exciting things about roller derby is the jammer bounce from the penalty box. So both jammers got penalties and they're both now back on track after spending about 5 seconds in the penalty box each. Cow Crusher on the outside line. And a star pass. So TRV, we now have Griff jamming. Mad Pixie on the outside line, needing to get past one of her own blockers, but has made it through for 4 points. Griff in the star, ready to start scoring points, taking the inside line on the apex, slicing through a beautiful little spin to take advantage of that small gap on the inside line. Mad Pixie dancing around her own blockers for another 4 points as well.
I think Cow Crusher just wanted to do some offense.
And doing a great job of it too. Griff on the outside line, but nearly made it through, but got a bit of a hit out. It's being recycled back by Storm. Mad Pixie taking a big hit there near the pivot line, but there's no stopping her. Spin and a swirl, and she's out of the pack.
Just waiting for the last couple of points to be put up by the scoreboard before we go into intermission. And it looks like Pivot City Rangers will... Oh, we've got an official review.
All right, well, we'll just let you know the score currently is Pivot City Rangers 189 to Team Regional Victoria 83. And it might be intermission, it might be half-time. Judy's going to go and find out what's going on with this official review. And while that happens, since we're talking about officials, I'd just like to say thank you to our non-skating officials. Today, helping us out to keep things running smoothly, we have Buster Hammy, 50th game, well done. Rad to the Bone, Panda, Watto, Hypodermic, Scare Bear, Butcherbird, Jackie Ono, and Blizzard. And our skating officials, our lovely referees in their stripy tops, we have Knives to See You, Knickerbocker, Florence, Snipples, Mish Demina, Mayhem, and Jack Spite with Pee-wee as our alt. Oh, and another quick announcement during this official timeout or official review. Don't forget to head on over to our stalls by the front door. We've got a raffle on today, and we've got some beautiful stalls for some merchandise and some great stickers and patches and all kinds of fun, beautiful stuff, shoelaces, etc. All right, so I've just been advised that one of the raffle prizes is an amazing cooking pack with all kinds of different equipment and items for the kitchen. What time are we drawing? Right now. Oh my God, I'm doing it now. All right, if you've bought a ticket in the raffle, get ready. I'm about to announce a winner of the cooking prize. It is Red D79. Is that you, Red D79? Oh, yay, we've got a winner.
That's good. We'll take that, sweet. Thank you. Sweet. That's
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. We have one prize on the way.
Okay, so the official review was in relation to a potential cut track against Pivot City Rangers Jammer Mad Pixie. The official review was denied, so Team Regional Victoria has lost their official review for the half, but considering we're going into intermission, I don't think they're too upset about that.
It's half time, so don't forget to get a coffee. Head on over to the taco truck. Head on over to the raffle stall and our amazing merchandise stalls as well. And we'll see you in 15 minutes. All right, we're back for the second half in 3 seconds. All right, we've got Loco Legs. Sorry? Oh, no, I lie. We can't, they're too far away. We can't read. No, I was right the first time. Loco Legs up against Liz Williams jamming.
From a
And,
distance, the 7-7s and the 1-1s all blend together.
All right, we are away. Liz Williams has got lead at the second turn on the apex there. Meanwhile, Loco Legs is trying to bust through on the outside line. Bit of offence to help her through, and she does change direction to the inside line and is out of the pack on the apex. Meanwhile, Liz Williams has hit the back of the pack, taken the inside line on the straight, danced around the outside and called it off. Very smart move. A couple of points there for Pivot City, and no points, I think, for TRV from that jam. So really good effort from Pivot City. Quick, moving fast, cutting through the pack, scoring points, calling it off before the other team has an opportunity to.
And lining up now, we have for Pivot City, Mad Pixie, and Gav for TRV. I love watching both of these skaters skate. The jammers just know where their feet are at all times.
They make it look easy.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Mad Pixie has got lead, and Gav has also made it through, doing a bit of backwards skating, very elegant. Great skating skills from both these jammers. Mad Pixie dancing on the inside line, and Gav taking the same line on the inside line on the second turn. Both jammers now scoring points. Both sets of blockers lining up on the straightaway. Offence on to the outside for Pivot City, but Pexi went on the other way, and a big hit to Gav on the inside line.
Big smiles though from Gav after being hit out by Juju.
Looks like Bombshell for Pivot City, lining up on the jammer line.
And I can't quite work out if that is Alma Thud. I think it might be. Yeah, I believe it's 9-1 Alma Thud.
Yes, it is. So Elma Thud trying to get through on the inside line, but just ahead of her there is Pivot City jammer Bombshell, who made it through. Both jammers are now out, however, and the blockers are trying to form up again. Meanwhile, Melonhead's trying to do a little bit of offence there, trying to break up the TRV pack to help Bombshell get through on the outside line, but a big hit there, forcing the recycle.
Griff did quite a nice little draw back there, making Bombshell take a bit longer to get back through. Unfortunately, the Pivot City blockers are quite formidable out there. They're holding up. I believe the Star Pass has happened and
Yes,
it's gone to
has
Monk.
been.
So Monk with the helmet cover in hand.
Elma Thud trying to do a little bit of offence. If you pass the star, I really think you should then also do a bit of offence and help the person you've
totally.
just given the star to.
I completely agree with that because you've just left everyone else now to...
Yep. Possible 2 minutes of jamming. So.
Like, I appreciate the Star Pass and not wanting to go against the wall yourself, but now you've left someone else to go against the wall.
Yep. If it was too hard for you, it might also be quite hard for them. So we have Hurdy Beetle lining up for TRV and Liz Williams for Pivot City.
And just an update on the scores. Pivot City on 206, Team Regional Victoria on 88.
All right, Liz Williams making it through, just having to get past Gav doing some one-on-one blocking there on the inside line. Meanwhile, Hurdy Beetle just facing those Pivot City blockers who are, well, they were sort of spread out and now they've been able to reform in that strong tripod, holding it on the outside line.
That's because they realised a Star Pass had occurred. So we now have Cow Crusher as the jammer.
Oh, yeah, so we do. Sorry, I've been announcing that wrong. All right, a lot of stumbles happening on the straightaway. People getting used to this concrete floor that's perhaps unfamiliar. It's always weird to skate in a new place and it's not your regular floor. Sometimes it takes a bit of time to get used to.
Also, the weather doesn't help it. So it's a little bit dusty, a little bit slippy, a little bit grippy. It doesn't really know what it's doing at the moment.
Yeah,
the
it
floor.
makes it a bit hard. Right, Cow Crusher's out the front there, just really being held back by the blockers, but has made it through. And nope, forearm penalty for Cow Crusher. They're heading to the penalty box. Liz Williams, meanwhile, is at the back of the pack on the near the jammer line, coming through the straight, just facing Gav, doing a bit of great one-on-one blocking, but Liz Williams has made it through on the inside at the apex to score 4 points. And has called it off. So, good timing on the call off there. Looks like we're going to have another power jam start for Pivot City.
So we mentioned before the Team Regional Victoria is made up of a lot of the little leagues. So we have Gippsland Lakes Roller Derby, Albury Wodonga, I believe it's Warrnambool Roller Derby, Wimmera Roller Derby, and Mildura Roller Derby, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's all the abbreviations listed.
Let us know if we forgot any. All right, Mad Pixie taking lead. Meanwhile, Cow Crusher's still in the penalty box, but Mad Pixie's coming round to start scoring some points. Blockers walling up there on the third turn. Oh, Pixie trying to take a big leap on the apex. Looks like she stuck the landing, but still has to get through a few TRV blockers. Another little dance around the apex. All right, Cow Crusher's on track, but looks like there's been a star pass, so TRV now has Monk jamming. Yep. All right, calling it off just as Monk hits the back of the pack.
Okay, and lining up, it looks like we have Storm lining up for Pivot City versus, I believe it's Loco Legs. And Storm out quickly with lead. As I mentioned earlier, Storm's actually one of the Team Australia juniors, so it's really exciting to see her play here today. Amazing representation of the next generation of roller derby. Getting through for points there while Loco Legs is still stuck in the pack.
Both teams with blockers in the penalty box, so it's 3-on-3. Both teams making it a little bit easier to get through when there's not as many blockers to get past. Storm making it look easy on the outside line of the fourth turn for another 4 points. Loco Legs getting pushed around on the inside line. They're taking some big hits and having to recycle.
Storm also taking a big hit on the outside and deciding to call it off. There's good blocking there from the two TRV at the front to manage the hit out.
So Pivot City got 8 points from that jam. TRV held to no points at that jam.
Just while we're having a bit of an official timeout here, I just want to say a big thank you for all the volunteers for making today happen. Roller derby doesn't happen without volunteers, whether they're officials or media commentating, anyone, plus all the people who are running the stalls.
And of course Dragon City for hosting.
Oh, definitely. It's a lot of effort to run a Stampede Day, so thank you to everyone who does their little bit to help out.
And thank you to all of you for coming along to watch us today.
The other big thank you, because without them we wouldn't be safe and looked after if we get injured, is our incredible first aid team.
Thank you, first aiders. Hopefully no one will need to see them, but if you do need to see them, they'll do a great job. Also, if you head on over to the stalls area today, we've just been informed we also have tarot card readings. So if you're interested in that,
I might actually need to look them up later. Head over after
interesting.
this game.
Might learn a bit about how the game's going to go.
You never know. It's all in the cards. About to get things underway again, and it looks like we have Liz Williams for Pivot City versus Gav for Team Regional Victoria.
All right, it looks like both jammers came out at a similar time, but Liz Williams managed to get lead. Looks like a bit of jammer on jammer action as they both come around towards the back of the pack. Gav taking some big hits, but getting on through. Liz Williams taking a big hit, but unfortunately getting recycled. All right, Gav dancing on the inside line, staying in, but taken a stumble, giving the Pivot City blockers opportunity to reform in front of her. Meanwhile, Liz Williams made it through for 4 points.
Unfortunately, a cut has been given to Gav.
Oh, looks all right from here, but I'm not at the right angle, so...
Refs are a lot closer to the gameplay than we are, so we'll take their
And
word.
they actually know what they're doing, unlike
Exactly,
me.
that's the other thing.
All right, jammer ref Florence is keeping the score, but also handing out penalties.
Is there anything Flo can't do?
I don't think so. You'll be able to see Flo on track later in game number 4.
Having a little bit of a stoppage right now. Just getting some first aid attention in the middle of the track,
So we'll just take this opportunity to let you know about our upcoming Stampede rounds. 27th of May, so that's in 3 weeks, it's quite soon. That'll be round 4, hosted by Westside Roller Derby, and it will be here at Bendigo. So same location, come back here in 3 weeks' time, or just stay in Bendigo until then. On the 3rd of June, there's the Pride Cup, which will be hosted by Gippsland Rangers Roller Derby at Warrigal Leisure Centre. That's always a fantastic event, the Pride Cup. If you've never been, definitely go.
We are looking forward to it. And this year, it's a lot of new skaters for both teams who haven't actually taken part in Pride Cup before.
Judy Bench, would you like to tell us who those both teams are?
So we have, hang on, an official review's just been called, so I'm going to duck in there and we'll come back to that.
All right, while Judy runs off to do that, I'll also let you know the statewide Stampede Round 5, which will be hosted by Diamond Valley at the Nets Stadium in McLeod, will be on 24th of June. So there's a lot of good roller derby coming up in the next month or two. All right, take a break while this official review happens.
Okay, so the official review was in relation to the cut given to Gav from TRV. Nikki was arguing that based on where it occurred and the reformation of the pack in front of them, there was no one for Gav to yield to, and therefore they were already safe and legally in bounds. They have been awarded the official review, so Gav is now released from the penalty box and the penalty has been taken off.
Right, sounds like a good outcome.
So just while this last little bit's going on before the jams will restart, just going back to the Pride Cup. So Gippsland Rangers every year does an amazing Pride event that features Gippsland and their own skaters, as well as a few people filling in. And they play against the Gender Ending Story. So they're a very trans, non-binary, inclusive team that gets to play in those games kind of thing.
Yep, it's a great event if you can make it to the Pride Cup on the 3rd of June.
And in the meantime, we've had Mad Pixie not only pick up lead, but also pick up points. I believe it's Hurdy Beetle who's out there at the moment.
It is Hurdy Beetle jamming for TRV, being held by Melonhead and
Dax,
Dakota Blocker, both really strong blockers. No pack is called. Those Pivot City blockers needing to rush forward. Hurdy Beetle trying to take the opportunity to get past them, but they are strong blockers and they are taking the opportunity to reform.
So a star pass has happened. And is this Lady Justice, I believe?
It is. It's Lady Justice now wearing the star for Team Regional Victoria.
And Mad Pixie with a nice little hop on the inside to get through over the apex.
All right, Lady Justice, I was going to say, dealt with all the stumbling in front of her, but then she took a stack as well, but has made it through nevertheless. Mad Pixie calling it off. Lady Justice did manage to score a couple of points there before the call-off, but Pivot City Rangers definitely with the points advantage at the end of that jam.
Score update, we have Pivot City Rangers on 272 to Team Regional Victoria 96. The score might be a little bit unbalanced, but there's definitely some really nice derby happening out there.
Absolutely. Scoreline doesn't always show the difference or how close the game is in terms of how it feels on track.
We
But
have.
we've got-
I was
I was
just going to say.
the same thing as you were going to say.
So Bombshell out there for Pivot City, who's just been awarded lead. And I believe this is a new jammer for today.
Oh, Bender.
Oh, no. The second jam, I think, for them today.
Yeah, we've got a fair few different people jamming for Team Regional Victoria. And as Judy mentioned earlier, their skaters really can do it all. Not so much specialised as some other teams you see. Bit of shenanigans happening there on the second apex. Really close pack. It's slowed down a lot. Fair few stumbles going on, making it a bit messy for the jammers to get through and messy for the blockers to hold on. But Bombshell has made it through on the outside line. Thought about potentially calling it off, changed her mind. Looks like she's coming back for some more. All right, big hit there from Grazed Anatomy onto Bender on the outside line. Bender forced to recycle to the back, but Bombshell has called it off. Pivot City taking their points advantage in that jam as well. 3 points to TRV, however, gets them up to 99, so close to 100. So close.
It is something that I am so excited for them because they don't often get the opportunity to get large scores. Being that they don't train together, it's really hard to come together as a team, and they do it month after month after month. So
yeah, they do a really great job.
Anytime they manage to score a lot of points, I am so excited for them.
Yeah. Really shows just how hard they work, and considering how difficult it is for them to train, as they can't train together. So they really do a great job when they do get to come together at games.
You know, for a lot of these teams, they might only have 3 contact skaters, so they can't even really do a lot of the training drills or like blocking drills or things like that because they just don't have the people.
Don't have the numbers. So they're really holding their own today against Pivot City.
And I just noticed that it's actually Tickles out there with the star at the moment.
I don't think we've seen Tickles jamming today. Great to see. Meanwhile, for Pivot City Rangers, Liz Williams is racking up the points. Tickle Me Hell No is stuck at the back of that tripod on the outside line of the second turn. Liz Williams coming through for another 4 points. Tickle Me Hell No, unfortunately, getting a penalty there from referee Mishtamina, sending her off to the penalty box. I'm not sure what the penalty was, though. I think it was a cut track, maybe. I don't know. But that means Liz Williams is now able to just keep on trying to score without any possibility for TRV to score points against her. All right, she's taking the opportunity to call off the jam. So Tickle Me Hell No is stuck in the penalty box and is going to have to jam the next jam. But Pivot City has that fantastic advantage of being able to start in that power jam situation and gives them time and opportunity to get lead, do offense, get lead before the other team can even field a jammer.
And of course, what do you do in a situation when you've got a power jam and you have a jammer such as Mad Pixie? You send Mad Pixie out.
Yep, absolutely. She's going to get out really fast. She's got lead before even the first turn, so just taking that straight section of the track, that's all she needs, making it look so easy. Pivot City looks like they're just going to hold back there, not going to do active offense. But unfortunately, Pixie got a low block penalty there. So that's an interesting outcome from the power jam start situation. Pixie has lost lead jammer.
Now, we have had a star pass, and it was a very, very well done star pass by Tickles there. Very smart. Managed to pull the pack out enough so it was only one person. Handed the star over. Purdy Beetle, no one to block.
Beautiful. And well-executed star passes are very satisfying to see. It's a great strategy to confuse the opposition blockers. They're not sure who to block. Mad Pixie's back on track, made it through the pack, but cut track somewhere along the way and has been sent back into the penalty box by referee Flo. Meanwhile, Hurdy Beetle racking up the points. No pack call. Couple of penalties there, so the penalty box is getting a bit busy.
Getting a little bit of a workout over there.
Our referee's making sure everyone keeps behaving themselves. Hurdy Beetle only 2 blockers to face and managed to slice on through, making it look easy. Mad Pixie facing 3, but the Pivot City Rangers are also doing a bit of offense, made it easy for her to get through. Hurdy Beetle cutting through on the inside line, beautiful little spin there. Jam is called off, both teams scoring points. And Team Regional Victoria with the points advantage from that jam, 12 points to Pivot City's 4.
They actually had another 2 points just put up.
Oh.
So,
sorry.
Right on the last second, the jam ref has held up 2 fingers because they were taking into consideration that lovely little inside pass there.
That was a beautiful little slice through on the inside earlier. So it looks like 15 points. Oh, they're chatting. We'll find out in a second.
They're still discussing it at the moment. So the TRV up over the century. So excited for him. They're doing such a great job out there. It is a fierce team, even though Pivot City is a mashup team. It's half and half, so they do get a chance to actually train a lot within their own teams and learn techniques and stuff like that together. And they have had the advantage of a number of the players playing together previously in the past. As I said, I got to bench a lot of the skaters out there as part of the Valley Cats last year, so they've had a chance to learn how each other works a lot.
Get to know each other on track. It's great to see opportunities for teams to mash up together, and if a team doesn't have enough people to field a whole team at statewide, they can join up with another club, and it's really good to get those opportunities.
It's also fantastic to see so many teams this year having the chance to also go, hey, we now have the numbers that by being in a mashup team, they've been able to bring up skaters through and now going to the stage where they've been able to go out on their own again.
Yeah, that is great to see the growth in the sport, particularly after COVID, when we had a lot of people unable to play, people retiring, leaving the sport, and the clubs are really starting to recover numbers. So it's fantastic to see. And we noticed that this year the team numbers in Statewide Stampede have increased.
Definitely.
So we have more teams now than we ever have before. That's a new structure to the tournament with the pool system to enable more teams to participate. So really looking forward to see how the growth of this tournament and the growth of roller derby in Victoria. Looks like we're having a timeout, so we'll We'll be back soon after this official timeout.
Okay, and we're back from that official timeout. And it looks like we have Bombshell for Pivot City versus, I believe, Loco Legs. No, it's actually Griff out
It's
there.
Griff in the gold shorts with the groovy pockets.
I saw the one. I didn't see the three to begin with.
Bombshell's done a really quite elegant move, cutting from the inside of the track on the straight to the outside of the track on the apex. And the same move again to try and get around the outside, cutting back to the inside of the track. So moving all around the track to really try and break up the blocker formation as they try and follow her all around. This time hitting the back of the pack nice and strong. Looks like there's been a star pass for TRV.
And my original guess about it being Loco Legs, it's now Loco Legs.
Yeah, you didn't speak too soon.
Loco Legs has managed to get out of the pack, so they are now onto their scoring pass.
All right, both teams have got a blocker in the penalty box by the looks of it, so making a little bit easier for the jammers, not as many people to have to get through, but Bombshell calling it off. Melonhead's in the penalty box for Pivot City, so sorry about that. Your jammers forced you to stay a bit longer. All right, we've got Griff lining up for Gav. Beg your pardon.
And that looks like Liz out there again for Pivot City.
All right, we are away. Bit of a split pack. Tripods at both ends of the straightaway, but both jammers out pretty fast. But Liz Williams has taken lead with Gav not far behind. So putting a bit of pressure on. Oh, great little spin from Gav there. That was a great move. That meant Gav was able to score points. And no points there for Liz Williams. So Liz had the advantage of being the lead jammer, but Gav got the points.
It was that lovely little jump spin, hit the ground, knowing exactly where the pack was.
Knowing exactly where you're going to land, nailing it. Great skills.
And it looks like we've got Pixie versus...
versus a star pass? Has that been completed?
I think it has been. So it'll be Monk as the jammer.
Meanwhile, amongst all that shenanigans with the star pass and the confusion of who's where, Mad Pixie was able to cut through the track really quickly and easily. Cut through the pack, sorry. All right, looks like we're having a bit of a timeout.
Okay, so we had a jam called off due to a potential injury. That's all been dealt with. Thankfully, the skater looks like they're okay. So we're about to get back underway again. And it looks like we have Juju for Pivot City versus Loco Legs for TRV.
Thanks again to our first aiders, making sure everyone's okay.
Juju out for lead.
Both jammers are out of the pack, coming around to start scoring some points.
Nice little backwards through the pack there from Juju. But both teams do have a number of blockers in the penalty box, so it's making it a little bit easier to get through.
Only one blocker to deal with, but for Pivot City, but that still taking a big hit. All right, not many blockers on track. It's a bit hard to know what to do when there's only one or two of you on track.
That the final blocker being out there and all by themselves, not sure where they need to go.
Oh, it's the worst thing. You're looking around like there's no one to help me. What do I do? Do I block? Do I do offense? Do I just hope for the best?
How do I manage to keep pack?
Looking to your bench. What should I do?
So Griff now has the star on their helmet for TRV. So
all right, Griff taking the outside line, but unfortunately just being knocked out slightly, having to come back around behind those blockers to try again. Again, taking the outside line, and another big hit there. I'm forced to recycle behind Dakota blocker. He's a really, really strong blocker.
and Dax is definitely the one to be careful of because they do have that strength on that line, and then they'll do the drawback every time.
Yeah, it's very disheartening when you get knocked down and you've got to go all the way back. All right, looks like we're having a time out there called by Bonnie Jovi, bench for Team Regional Victoria. And that reminds me, let's just let us know who our bench crew members are. So for Team Regional Victoria, Bonnie Jovi and Kick. And for Pivot City Rangers, Neon Tigress, Lawless, Chucky and Mina Nina. The bench crew, they do a great job keeping their teams in line, giving them instructions, thinking about the strategy, making sure everyone's okay and has what they need, and just kind of running the show.
And again, with TRV, they don't actually have a permanent bench coach. So this round, it's Bonnie Jovi from Southsea who stepped up. Last round, it was Scottish from Nerd. And it just goes to show the community of roller derby that everyone's willing to put their hand up and say, hey, we can help you out. We know that you don't have that at the moment, so this is something we can do to help you guys.
Absolutely, it's great to see.
And we've just got just over 4 minutes left on the period clock.
And that timeout finished, but it looks like Pivot City bench crew have called an official review, so we're going to have even more timeout time.
Okay, and I'll head in and find out what's going on.
All right, Judy's going to go and find out, and we might have a quick music break.
So we have Storm versus Gav on the jam line. And just an update in regards to that official review. So there was, they were discussing the lack of a forearm penalty by one of the black blockers who they felt had hit the jammer in the face. Unfortunately, no ref had their eyes on it, so the official review was not successful.
Refs have got to look at a lot of stuff at the same time. They do a great job to see what they see, but you can't see absolutely everything.
And we have Gav out there with lead for TRV.
All right, both jammers are scoring points and they're racing each other around the track. A little bit of jammer on jammer action is always fun to see. They're allowed to block each other out of the pack. All right, hitting the back of the pack, and Gav's at the forward part of the pack and Storm is at the back part of the pack. Both getting a bit trapped in there, but called it off. So at the end of that jam is a 1 point advantage to TRB at the end of that jam, 8 points to 7 points earned by Storm for the Pivot City Rangers.
And that was actually really smart by Gav. They actually knew they had all 4 points in that pass before they called it. So just great awareness out there.
All right, Liz Williams jamming for Pivot City, and I can't see, but I think it's Hurdy Beetle for Team Regional Victoria. All right, pack's getting split. We've got, it looks like Melonhead trying to hold the pack together, try and bridge out. Meanwhile, Liz Williams has earned lead jammer. You can hear the call from the bench. TRV defence as Liz Williams comes through, but she bounces through the inside line on the first apex. Meanwhile, Hurdy Beetle is still stuck at the back of that pack with those amazing Pivot City blockers doing their best to hold her back. But she's through on the inside line, almost getting hit out, but resisting, staying in track. Both jammers are now racing each other around the apex. Liz Williams calling it off before either jammer can hit the back of the pack. So you don't score any points when you call it off, but you also stop the other team from scoring any points. Even Stevens is better than losing the points advantage.
It's one of those things where you've got to take that split decision. Am I going to be able to hit the pack in enough time to score a point?
Yep.
Or is it just, let's call it and no one gets points?
Yep, call it off, try again the next jam. So at the end of that jam, it's Pivot City on 362 to Team Regional Victoria 135.
We have 1 minute left on the period clock.
Might be our last jam. Mad Pixie for Pivot City taking lead. And Griff, yes. Couple of little hop, step and a jump, little kind of jumpy things on the apex for Mad Pixie, making it look super easy. Griff's made it out of the pack as well. Outside line, just ducking on through for Mad Pixie.
That was great positioning there by Billy. Lots of support from both teams on the sidelines. Lots of cheering, lots of yelling.
Yeah, there's a minute left or maximum a minute left of this jam, so we'll see how many points we can get in our last few moments. Griff being held at the back of the pack there, trying to push on through at the near the pivot line, and an easy way through the inside line on the apex for Mad Pixie.
And go around's just been signalled from Lawless on the bench, so Pixie's going to keep going.
Just keep going, do the whole 2 minutes. Beautiful ducking on through and a juke from the inside to the outside from Mad Pixie.
Pixie's just done a quick check of, oh no, how many more laps do I need to do?
Yeah, how much longer of this? Bit of a hit on the inside, but Pixie's straight back on track, cutting through to the outside line, going around those blockers and scoring another 4 points. There's 6 seconds left of this jam. Can she get another 4 points in the last few seconds? Oh, I did get a couple more in the last few seconds, but
Just
not the full
checking
4.
how many that was. There's still points to go up.
All right, we haven't had our final whistle yet, so
That was a 30-point jam by Mad Pixie there.
crazy.
30.
30. That's a huge, huge score for one jam. So unofficial score currently, unless it changes in a moment. Oh, I'm not going to say anything yet because the jam ref's talking to the scorekeepers, so I just want to make sure.
Well, I believe Flo is happy with the score
Happy
that's
with the
up there
score.
for Pivot City, so we can at least say Pivot City on 392.
Team Regional Victoria, 139.
And there's the
that whistle. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Big congratulations to Pivot City for the win and great work from TRV, really holding their own on track today. Thanks, Judy. It's nice to commentate with you today.
Claire, always a pleasure.
All right, stick around, everyone. The next game we have on track just after this, starting very soon, is Bendigo's own Chico Rollers, Dragon City Roller Derby, the home team, and they'll be against South Sea Roller Derby's Banshees.
It's the Battle of the Reds.
It might get a little bit confusing. I'm glad I'm not commentating.
And thanks again all.